Welcome back aboard U80. It's May 12th, and after a couple of days across the Atlantic, we are now 55 miles outside of Brest. We have resupplied at the U-tanker Ems in the North Atlantic. They supplied us with a couple of 100 tons of fuel and a couple of torpedoes so that we could make it across the Atlantic. Unfortunately, we didn't find any targets. Also, despite having resupplied, morale is low right now on the boat, and no larger operations could be undertaken. The boat and her crew are now ready for a longer overhaul in port, probably at least a month, maybe 6 weeks. And it's expected that we should make it back out to the sea somewhere in July. We have announced our arrival with the headquarters in Brest. They have given us a approach course so that we can meet up with the patrol boats safely despite the bad weather. One upside here is that obviously the British Air Force will have a hard time harassing us while we make it into Brest. I will talk to you again once we are inside the harbor. We have safely made it into the Bay of Brest. The harbor lights are up ahead, about 2 to 3 miles. We're just passing a couple of patrol boats, and soon we should be inside the bunker. We're almost inside the inner harbor, and we're passing a small German destroyer. Another German destroyer and the Spanish freighter in the anchorage. Now we have to make sure that we get the right gap here, so we find our bunker.
Schiff gesichtet, Lage 316, geringe Entfernung.
We haven't observed any traffic out or into the harbor other than us. Okay, we're now entering the inner harbor, passing the lighthouse and a few anchored ships, a German mine layer, and probably some sort of tanker.
Schiff gesichtet, Lage 324, geringe Entfernung.
You can see the mine stacked up on the aft deck. Behind the mine layer, a colonial freighter. And I can see the bunkers just through the fog now. We're now turning in towards the bunkers. We have another set of transport ships. To our starboard.
Lage 353, geringe Entfernung.
Just trying to needle in. This looks like a landing craft of some sort. But I believe the time for a sea lion is over by now.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
We've been ordered into bunker number 3. We're just gonna have to pass this small ship just up ahead. Looks like a small patrol craft. Or maybe a destroyer. And we've made it into our bunker, and we're going to end the patrol here. So we are back. We got the message from headquarters that one of our crew members was killed in a bar fight. But there are other personnel matters that we have to take care of before we can exit Brest for our next patrol. Welcome back aboard U-80. We are just about to leave our bunker. The needs of naval warfare for the German submarine force made it necessary for us to expedite our repairs and refitting in Brest. It's only June 16, and we are already sent out to patrol again. We have been moved over to the second last bunker. For the expedited repairs, it was necessary to move to another bunker. Our patrol grid that we got assigned is AL99, and that's where we are headed. The weather is calm, so we have to be mindful of enemy air patrols on our way to the assigned patrol area. AL99 is west of Ireland. Pretty much on a convoy route. So hopefully we'll find plenty of targets. It's 7:30 at night, and we are well rested. We had a couple of people leave the boat, mainly experienced crew and petty officers, and our most experienced officer also had to leave the boat. But we did get a replacement, so when it comes to officers we are complete. Otherwise we are a bit under strength, namely in crew and petty officers. While we're leaving the port, fresh ordnance is being brought into the submarine base, and all of the factories and docks are busy with repairs. Apparently a small convoy is being prepared. There are some incoming forces up ahead. Probably a small destroyer task force. And over there we can see 2 victims of a British bombing campaign. And we're passing the task force. And it seems that this destroyer is escorting a battle cruiser into Brest, which we're going to be seeing shortly in the background. This looks like an auxiliary cruiser on the anchorage. As well as 2 destroyers. And we're still in convoy with the transport and the auxiliary cruiser. And we have a submarine incoming. Looks like a Type 2. But I could be mistaken. At this distance it's kind of hard to tell. And it seems we have
Schiff gesichtet.
Either-
Lage 179. Große Entfernung.
probably a small fishing fleet. And some guard boats out and about. It's 6 o'clock in the morning of June 17, 1941. We are traveling with a heading of 270 degrees at a speed of 8 knots. And we should be reaching our assigned patrol grid, AL-99, in 4 days. It's June 18 and we are marching towards our assigned patrol grid, and we just spotted a ship. It's 10 minutes to midnight on June 18, 1941. We are about 220 miles from Brest, about halfway between Brest and the assigned patrol grid. And the crew has spotted what appears to be a freighter at a distance of about 8,000 meters to our starboard side, to our port side. So I have ordered a course adjustment. We are turning because I believe the freighter is heading east while we are heading west. It also seems that I just lost it out of sight.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Ruder 0 Grad.
There it is. So we're gonna go
Jawohl,
slow
Herr
down.
Kaloin. Ein Drittel Fahrt voraus. Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
And we're gonna get a bearing here. This is roughly 225 degrees. But let's be precise. So about 223. And then we'll keep taking bearings and trying to find out exactly which way this ship is headed and what speed it is. So we're still not sure which way it is heading, but we are pretty sure we are on its starboard bow. So we're going to speed up
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Volle Fahrt voraus.
and make a turn to port to see if we can get a better angle on the ship and maybe see which way it's going. It appears to me that we are now more or less on a perpendicular course to it and that the ship is moving towards us. And I assume so based on the bearings that we've taken. So let's take a quick look at the map. So the first bearing was this one over here at 7,500 meters. Then we took a second one while we were moving very slowly on a course roughly 30 degrees, 27, something like that. And then we made a sharp turn to port. We're now heading 320 degrees. And we took a second bearing and the distance estimate was 6,000 meters, which is this intersection over here. And this line here represents the assumed course of the target, which is pretty much exactly 45 degrees. As for the speed, this distance here was covered in 10 minutes. So we're looking at about 2 kilometers, maybe 2.1. In 10 minutes, that would equal about 7 knots. So I've ordered to slow back because we're approaching the track. Our assumed track should be about 300 to 400 meters ahead of our bow, which is an ideal distance for a surface night attack. And the ship is moving in closer, so we should get started with the identification.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
Looks like a smaller ship. Probably only one smokestack. At this point I'm still not sure what kind of ship exactly it is, but I've set up some generic torp settings, impact, fast runner, speed is set to 7 knots, and we're going to be firing at a distance between 500 and 1500 meters. Currently we are 900 meters from the track, or from what I suppose the track should be. So this is sort of an off-the-cuffs quick attack. We're going to wait a bit longer before I order slow ahead again. So we're moving forward again, because I had to correct the target's track. It's a bit more northerly than I thought. Now we're at a distance of 1500 meters. We're going to make sure that we stay at a rather slow speed. The target is currently 60 degrees to our port bow. And this can give us a new speed estimate. It has been 25 minutes since the first bearing. 4.9 kilometers. Three. 2.6. So maybe 7 knots is a bit fast. Let's go with 6 knots rather. We are in a heavy sea, so that makes sense. So the target is heading about 50 degrees. And I'm pretty sure it's a British flag that I see at the stern. I'm still not sure exactly what type it is, but we have a torpedo running at 4 meters with an impact pistol. I've identified this ship as a package freighter, and we're going to go for a quick speed measurement using the USO and the clock here. There's actually a very simple way. So We know that the length is 120 meters. And then we can use these scales here. So we're gonna run the clock once it passes 350 degrees, this mark here. And we're gonna make sure that the boat is almost at a standstill to get a precise measurement. And then we're gonna take the value between the yellow and the red line here. So if the ship were exactly 150 meters long, or exactly 100 meters long, and wherever the hand of the clock stops for that amount of time, that's where the speed is for this length. So if we measure for, say, 20 seconds, and the ship is 100 meters long, then we know when the stern passes the mark and the hand stops at 20 seconds, then we know that the ship is going 9 knots in this case. We have a British flag. We're safe to attack. I've also set up a second torpedo just in case, with exactly the same settings. We're gonna go and open torpedo tubes.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin.
And we're starting the clock. So it looks like it's going very slowly. So between 5 and 7.5 knots, so I think 6 knots should be okay. And we're ready to launch the torpedo. We're just gonna aim a bit ahead because I think 6 knots may be a bit too fast.
Rohr 1, los!
I've ordered to speed up and turn slightly in case we have to shoot again.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Ruder 0 Grad. Torpedo-Treffer.
And we have impact exactly where we aimed.
Jawohl, Herr Kaloin. Kleine Fahrt voraus.
Let's slow down in case we have to shoot again. I'm gonna order a turn. I want to go on a parallel course. It seems that she's taking on water. Seems that the ship is listing towards the bow, which you would expect. And it seems that she's going down. as we're overtaking her. Kill confirmed. So we're returning to course, and after that's completed, we're going to dive to about 40 meters, at least, given the heavy weather, to reload the torpedo tube, and hopefully spend a quiet rest of the night. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for stopping by.